Welcome back to another SCP reading, dear researchers. Today we'll be reading SCP-4068, Buzzword. Now without further ado. Item number SCP-4068, Object Class, Keter, Special Containment Procedures. Electronic and verbal communications with Fortune 500 companies will be monitored for any references to the phrase, a lovely little hotel in the Rockies. Corporations flagged for this communication will be quarantined under the guise of epidemic prevention, and all employees interviewed for the detection of SCP-4068. SCP-4068-1-A instances will be administered class C amnestics. SCP-4068-1-B instances will be terminated, and records of their employment history expunged. All communications affected by the memetic effects of SCP-4068, including but not limited to electronic communications, posters, and letters, will be expunged, as well as any records of SCP-4068-2 policies. Description: SCP-4068 is a phenomena affecting employees of major US-based companies. And a footnote here, employees of nonprofits and governmental institutions appear unaffected. No employee of the SCP Foundation has been affected by SCP-4068. Affected employees are henceforth referred to as SCP-4068-1. There are no apparent processes for the incidence of SCP-4068 among individuals, but previous instances of SCP-4068 have been limited by the following criteria. Job responsibilities are largely corporate in function, i.e., not related directly to the sale of products, to manufacturing, or to custodial duties. All instances of SCP-4068-1 are employees of companies listed in the Fortune 500 for the year the instance initially manifests. All instances have unusually high rates of agreeableness and poor critical thinking skills. SCP-4068-1 instances proceed through two primary stages, henceforth referred to as SCP-4068-1-A and SCP-4068-1-B. SCP-4068-1-A instances will begin to reference a recent corporate retreat they attended. All instances to date have referred to the event as enlightening and located in a lovely little hotel in the Rockies. Though no evidence of the existence of these events nor the hotel has been found, descriptions of what was learned at these events are invariably laden with corporate jargon to the point of being incomprehensible. SCP-4068-1-A will attempt to spread what they learned from the event to other employees, typically through emails, motivational posters, and verbal conversations. SCP-4068-1-A communications appear to exert memetic effect on other employees of their company, who become convinced that information about SCP-4068 is meaningful and attempt to spread it to other employees, thus creating more instances of SCP-4068-1-A. Non-employees perceive the anomalous speech normally, and can neither understand SCP-4068-1 instances nor be influenced by the memetic effects of SCP-4068. The use of Class C amnestics is effective at curing SCP-4068-1-A instances, though future exposure to SCP-4068 will cause a reoccurrence of the effects. SCP-4068-1-A instances progress to SCP-4068-1-B, typically after remaining untreated for 4 to 5 weeks. Though proximity to other instances of SCP-4068-1-A and SCP-4068-1-B will accelerate the progression. SCP-4068-1-B instances are completely incapable of comprehensible speech, devolving into a coprolalia, and a footnote here, the involuntary and repetitive use of obscene and meaningless language, of corporate jargon and buzzwords. This speech exerts a significantly strong memetic effect on other employees, greatly increasing the likelihood of the creation of SCP-4068-1-A instances. SCP 4068 1 B instances can also be distinguished by their extreme reticence to interact with non employees, violent tendencies towards non anomalous management, theory, literature, books, articles, etc., and signs of psychological distress. Footnote here. It is possible that SCP 4068 1 B instances are at least partially aware of their condition. The administration of amnestics to SCP 4068 1 B instances appears ineffective at curing the instance, as mental deterioration has typically already occurred by this point. And a footnote here. Autopsies on SCP 4068 1 B instances show partial degradation of the Wernicke's area of the temporal lobe, related to the development and comprehension of language. Although SCP 4068 1 B instances appear to suffer from some symptoms of Wernicke's aphasia, typically characterized by producing fluent yet meaningless speech, they lack other necessary symptoms and seem perfectly capable of comprehending normal language and are able to follow any verbal commands. Refer to interview log 4068-A. SCP 4068 2 are corporations who have reached a critical mass of SCP 4068 1 instances, approximately 60% of employees, though SCP 4068 2 instances can manifest earlier if the majority of the company leadership is affected. SCP 4068 2 will implement corporate policies that appear to be consistent with SCP 4068. Due to the incomprehensibility of SCP 4068 1 communications, the reasoning behind these policies is unclear, and attempts to discuss them will result in further manifestations of SCP 4068 1 A. All instances of SCP 4068 1 will comply with the policies laid out by SCP 4068 2. Employees of SCP 4068 2 instances who are not yet affected by SCP 4068 typically become instances of SCP 4068 1 within a week following the implementation of these policies. A refusal to participate in SCP 4068 2 policies will elicit violent reactions from SCP 4068 1 instances. Refer to Evidence Log 4068 A. Evidence Log 4068-A. SCP 4068 2 Instance 3. Policies implemented. All employees work in 24-hour shifts, 7 days a week. Speakers are installed in every room of corporate locations and continuously project a recording of an SCP 4068 1 B instance speaking. Instance 5. Policies implemented. Nudity is actively encouraged as the appropriate dress code among staff, but lead depictions of corporate logos and mottos via tattoos, body paint, and in rare cases self-inflicted scars are common. Instance 12. Policies implemented. Redacted Company, formerly an oil and gas company, attempts to switch all resources to the manufacture of wristwatches, to the great financial detriment of the company. Instance 13. Policies implemented. Employees adopt extreme aesthetic practices. Tens of employees die of dehydration or starvation. Instance 16. Policies implemented. Polygamous office romances are mandated among staff. The number of partners appears to be correlated with the individual's position within the corporate hierarchy. Instance 17. Policies implemented. The color blue is strictly prohibited in corporate locations. Instance 19. Policies implemented. Poor performance results in the data expunged of employees. SCP 4068 1 instances show no apparent signs of discomfort. Interview log 4068-A, SCP 4068-B-17. Interviewer Dr. G. Kane. Interviewee SCP 4068-B-17. Begin log. Dr. Kane. When did the symptoms begin? SCP 4068-B-17. Outsourcing the speed to market of paradigms to downsize the upside of our enterprise cloud takeaway. Dr. Kane, can you understand what I'm saying? SCP-4068-B-17. Give me pushback ecosystems of our core synergistic competencies to stay on the innovative growth hack and swim line. Dr. Kane, what is causing your symptoms? SCP-4068-B-17. Moving the needle to my bleeding edge pain points by the out-of-pocket disruptor drilling down from the outside the box in a lovely little hotel in the Rockies. End log. Putting aside the flashbacks to my business degree, I think this is all we need to finish up our investigation. In fact, I think I've found something about a drooling path. It's appeared a few times now. Let's check it out on Tuesday.